Now to a wildfire watch, and a wild turn at that. Police in Washington state arrest a man on suspicion of arson in at least one of the massive wildfires burning at this very hour. Authorities say a tip from a community member led to that 37-year-old man's arrest. Now, as to the firefight, look at that. It's fierce out there, taking an army of more than 1,000 firefighters to do battle with the flames. You see, they're coming in from out-of-state locations, with more expected to join the ranks in just the next few days. All of them praising the partnership with the public that led to that arrest.
The witness, a citizen, very good citizen, noticed a male standing on the side of the road looking into the trees as he was going to pick somebody up. About 10 minutes later, as he was coming back through the area, he noticed the male was bending down near some grass. At that point, the male stood up and looked very nervous, according to our citizen witness. At that point, the male walked away. The citizen returned to their house. A short time later, after being at home, they saw smoke coming from what they believed was the area that they had seen the male bending down by the side of the road.
Reporter Regan Gallo live in Spokane, where so many tents are up behind her. They all belong to the people who get very short amounts of sleep and very tall orders to try to put that fire out. Tell us what the situation is today, Regan.
Hey, Reed, as we are tracking on day 4 of these Spokane area fires, thousands still evacuated for both Spokane County and just north Stevens County as well. Now, like you said, I am at that incident command post in North Spokane County at a local high school here. Again, like you said, so many crews. I'm going to step off to the camera here just to show these crews actually just got off their night shift and they are all sleeping. So I am trying to remain just a little bit quiet here. But as you said, over 1,000 personnel are working for these Spokane area fires, and I am told by officials today that number is expected to increase up to 2,000, which just shows the massive response underway as crews are coming from all parts of the country. Now, fire officials this morning at a briefing, they told me that they are expecting to bring in additional aircraft today. Yesterday, there was an issue of personal drones flying in the air, which law enforcement did have to address the public with. Now that issue has been cleared, they expect that aircraft to continue doing their job today. Other challenges expected is going to be the steep terrain on some of the areas of these 3 fires, as well as potential hotspots. It's going to be warmer today than yesterday. And again, those fuels in Washington state, eastern Washington state, are still extremely dry. Now, there is no new number on structure impact as of yesterday. It was 700, but officials said it could be up to 1,100 impacted structures. That includes homes as well as outbuildings. They say that they're continuing to count and want to do a more formal review before giving any of those updated numbers. And today, President Donald Trump has approved an emergency declaration for Washington state in response to the Spokane area fires, allowing FEMA to coordinate federal disaster relief. Lastly, for that arson suspect, it's 37-year-old Aaron Fernacci. He has been booked into jail on first-degree arson and could make his court appearance today in Spokane County. So we're waiting on that. Meanwhile, many residents continue to be displaced, wondering if it could be a week, 2 weeks before they come back to their homes or come back to the remnants of their homes. So again, devastating for these communities. And last but not least, just very complex timing. Today is Washington state's primary election. So as people are not home, their ballots are burned, their homes are burned. That's just adding even more complexity to what is going on here in eastern Washington. So a lot going on. We're going to be continuing to track this as well as the primary election today too. We'll keep updated here. Again, I'm not at that incident command post in North Spokane County. For now, Regan Gallo, back to you, Reed.
All right, Regan, thank you so much. 67,000 people evacuated out of their homes. And I have to say, my 20-something-year-old nephew is in the ranks of those firefighters. It's a long day and a long night there in the fire line.
It is. And, you know, you're talking about the conditions for those firefighters out there dealing with extreme heat, poor air quality. We're going to actually start off with that air quality. Okay. Those alerts are widespread from Washington into Oregon, stretched all the way over into Colorado, as some of that smoke is getting picked up and moved throughout these states. Now, on top of that, we're battling some hot temperatures into the coming days, and so we're going to show you that in just a bit. But if you live in any of these communities highlighted by the National Weather Service, try your hardest to limit your time outside today, especially if your air quality is well above where it should should be. Now, of course, that smoke is expected to get picked up and moved, especially with the jet stream getting stronger, moving over into the east. And so places like Montana, Wyoming, down into Colorado could see some of that leftover smoke. Similar conditions down into the Bay Area, too, as those northwest winds just along the Pacific start to get picked up and moved into that direction. But mostly those isolated conditions when it comes to extreme conditions for air quality are up in Washington and Oregon. Now, today, as we take a look at fire weather conditions, which means low relative humidity, hot temperatures, and some strong winds, these areas on this map, anywhere from Idaho, stretched all the way down into Utah and northern parts of New Mexico and Arizona, we are dealing with fire weather outlooks today as high pressure dominates this area. That is warm, sinking air to the Earth's surface. And as that warm air continues to sink, it heats up communities like Las Vegas, stretched all the way down into Southern California. Taking a look at the map below me, I just want to show you those heat advisories stretch all throughout the West Coast. Extreme heat warnings in the pink color. Heat advisories all throughout the Bay Area, stretched up into Oregon today in the orange color. Now, throughout the next 6 to 10 days, the Climate Prediction Center is showing above normal temperatures widespread throughout the West Coast and definitely throughout middle portions of this country. Places like Illinois, all the way over into Ohio, up into the Northeast and down into the Gulf. Temperatures are going to be above average as we head into the next 6 to 10 days, and we're going to talk more about that coming up in just a bit, Reed.
All right, Jess, thank you.